crap. I don't know who the hell we think we are when we do something like that.
What's up, fight fans? This is the Combat Connection, and we are live on Cageside Press social media platform with a loaded show for you today. We will be breaking down everything that happened over the weekend at UFC 311, and we'll be joined by a special guest, Midwest flyweight prospect Brynn Heathcock, who was a part of last year's APFC Fight of the Year. Also, we'll talk about the PFL card this weekend with Usman Nurmagomedov defending his title against surging Irish prospect Paul Hughes. Eddie, we've got a loaded show today, but a lot happened over the weekend at UFC 311. Let's get right into it. We had in the main event, Islam Makhachev, lightweight champion, defending his belt, improving his record to 27-1 when he defeated last-minute replacement Renato Moicano, 20-6, by submission in the first round. This one was really over as soon as it got started. Moicano landed a few glancing blows on the feet and then was taken down pretty quickly there by Makhachev. And submitted, within 2 minutes. What'd you make of this one, and how impressed were you with Makhachev's performance?
For a short notice fight, I'm not gonna say a word about Moicano. Moicano did what he was supposed to do, lose. He wasn't supposed to do shit. Like we were not surprised by the fact that he couldn't do anything. Right? There was no preparation on his end. For Islam, you need months of preparation. On the other side, Islam did exactly what we knew, what we expected. Ass whooping, straight up, quick, cut through him, 4-minute butt whooping, and then made him tap. So, dude, honestly, it went exactly how I thought it would. Really. And honestly, I'm not going to lie to you. I thought it would have gone longer, but I expected the same thing to happen with Arman. The third, fourth round, maybe. But man, that whole thing was fucking wild. So Gabriel Gonzalez was there for Cageside Press, and for the weigh-ins and all that. And Whisper started going. So he's like, hey, man, sounds like something's up. Something's going on with Arman. He didn't come in yet. Usually he weighs in by now, so stuff, and everyone's starting to talk a little bit. There's rumors he's out. So, of course, I do my duty out here and start looking around, asking around, all sorts of stuff. And sure as shit, dude, pulls out with a back injury. And you can't make this shit up. And that's the point, like, that used to give Dana, you know how Dana White's like a big white bald or normal type bald white dude. Like, he turns red as hell when this shit happens. When he put that video out, the Heathock was the one that stepped in, he was chill. I think he knew, look, this might not be a great fight, but Moicano brings the theatrics, and he does. So that was cool to see. And I like Moicano getting a shot. I really do. I enjoyed that. And so,
I think Dana realized he probably wasn't going to lose that much on the pay-per-view revenue side of it, because Moicano could sell, like you're saying, with the entertainment value. But from a competitive standpoint, I thought I really wanted to see Arman fight, man, because he was coming all this way from his debut when he fought Makhachev, had ran through all these guys. Had similar wins over Charles Oliveira like Islam did. Islam obviously got a submission win over Charles and went the distance with Sarukian. But I really wanted to see Arman. I thought he was coming on and improving his striking, but it's really out of character for him to be pulling out in the middle of a fight week. And like you're saying, the UFC and Dana White do not like it when they have to change plans on last-minute notice, especially for an injury that they probably could have been told about previously 2 fight weeks. So I don't think he's going to get the next title shot. I think that he's going to get passed up over, and whether we see Oliveira again versus Islam Makhachev or a Topuria fight after, it's being announced now that him and Alex Volkanovski may be targeted here in April. So
Islam and Volk again?
No. Volk and Topuria.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey,
I saw that on my work at lunch. It might have been from those fictitious accounts that put up stuff. But
even if it is, that'd be like on full like his Volk stepped in on short notice. If you get a full camp for Islam, I think it's a better fight.
No, Volk versus Topuria.
God damn it.
That's what you meant. I got you, Eddie.
God damn it, dude. Topuria's gonna fuck him up again.
Yeah.
That dude's a bad motherfucker. I think. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, but all right, cool. Yeah, I didn't know about that. That's interesting.
But I think maybe he fights Topuria, but if he gets through Volk. But I don't know. I think that Arman has to fight him at some point, but he's got to want to fight him at the same time. He was handed this opportunity once and declined it in June. They gave it to Dustin Poirier. Immediately after the fight, they tried to give him an opportunity at the title, and he didn't take it, and then pulls out during fight week. The UFC brass isn't going to like either of those moves, so I think he's probably going to get passed up again for the title. But moving on with Moicano here, I don't think his stock really falls that much. He's going to be able to be thrown into the UFC fight nights and the main events and stuff like that. So he's going to bounce back here and continue having a good career. But did you see in the post-fight presser Dana White say that Islam Makhachev's now the number 1 pound-for-pound fighter, declaring it finally?
Dana White's a freaking master. He's been doing this so damn long. He knows good and damn well Islam number 1, right? He was pumping up John Jones, stroking the ego, also this shit. Now you're trying to get John Jones, Tom Aspinall done. All right, yeah, Islam's number 1. If you don't think that's gonna be like John Jones didn't raise an eyebrow, like, bitch, what? You had my back this whole time. Now you bro. I'm gonna show you, and that's the kind of deal. He tries little things here and there, but yeah, it was funny as hell. Honestly, I was just like, all right, about time you admit it, dog. Come on now.
Yeah, I think it's pretty obvious at this point. He's just the most active guy and goes in there and gets fights done with impressive fashion. But the numbers on this one, officially 18-18 in terms of significant strikes. But there was 1 takedown, and in short order, after 1 minute and 27 seconds, Islam found the submission and improves his record to 27-1. Now, who would you like to see him fight next? We threw out some names about maybe Topuria, maybe Arman, maybe Charles. Is it one of those guys that you think is the next deserving guy?
Bilal Muhammad.
Okay.
Why are we playing?
Move up.
Why are we playing? I know you're pretending to be boys and all that like shit, and you're both, same religion. I respect all of that. But who is left? He's beaten everybody at 55. Like, you could say he's the GOAT at 55 at this point. Like, you could, right? I know Habib's there. He retired undefeated and all that. But you could make a case for Islam now. I mean, who else is there, dude? Like, he beat Dustin. He beat Justin. He beat Justin. He beat freaking Volkanovski, obviously. And then Volkanovski coming up. Fuck, who am I? I know I'm missing a big ass one at 55. But either way, he beat everybody, basically. He hasn't lost to anybody. Like, why are we playing? Why don't we just move up?
Has he fought Gaethje yet? Let me look that up. I know he fought Poirier, and
I think he has. Or he was supposed to, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Let me find out for you. But yeah, no, either way, like, and someone in the conversation been hitting on the head. I'm not mad at this. Justin, so Justin Gaethje, Dan Hooker was just announced for co-main event, 5-round co-main event. UFC 313, Las Vegas, Nevada. Main event is Pereira, Magomedov. I'm not mad at that. If Justin beats Hooker, especially if he finishes him, give him the shot. Why not?
Yeah.
I by the way, I think Islam wins that anyway, but give him the shot. Why not?
Yeah, I agree. Whether he moves up, whether it's Topuria, whether it's Gaethje or Oliveira, any of those are viable contenders, and we'll certainly be watching. But one thing I do want to ask you, do you think that the loss in the co-main event to Umar Nurmagomedov lit a fire under Makhachev going into the main event? Do you think he came in a little more hot, a little more sense of urgency to him after Umar had just lost previously?
Oh, probably, man. Those guys, they're all boys. Those guys are family, but it's a different kind of family, right? This isn't family like Sean Strickland and Chris Curtis. This is not family like freaking, Masvidal and Covington back in the day before Covington, got a stick up his ass. This is family like we expect you to be perfect at all times. When you're not, it's your ass, right? Yeah. I don't know if you heard the story. I forgot who it was. They used to play video games.
Yeah, we were talking about it on the show. Abu Bakr.
Yeah. Habib broke his shit. That's the kind of family they are. So Islam probably came out like, oh, no, we can't have this. We can't have this. Not to mention, it's minutes after the Umar lost that Islam had to fight. It probably isn't a lot of time for him to be like worried about that. But maybe, I would think so. Habib was pissed, dude. I don't know if you saw it in the cameras on the footage of him outside. He was pissed.
Well, let's get right into it because the opposing coach, Ray Longo, has coached some of the greatest upsets in the history of this sport. Coached Chris Weidman to his victory over Anderson Silva, coached Matt Serra to his victory over George St. Pierre, and this weekend coaches Merab Dvalishvili to a title defense after being a 3-1 underdog as the champion. Officially, Merab moves to 19-4, handing Umar Nurmagomedov his first loss at 18-1. This was unanimous on the judges' scorecard. Merab pulled this off as a huge betting underdog, actually out-grappled Umar. The grappling statistics in this one are crazy to me. 7 takedowns landed for Merab, 2 for Umar, 30 attempted by Merab, 15 attempted for Umar. Some of the grappling exchanges in this one were just absolutely incredible. Both of these guys as talented as they come on the ground. And really was a stalemate for the first two. I had the first 2 rounds going to Umar. I had Merab winning the next 3. How did you score this one, Eddie?
So I didn't. So so when I do the fight companions or the live tweets, I don't have time to score. I'm describing things and this and that. Like I'm watching the fight, but I'm not scoring the fight. You know, when you watch a fight and scoring it and watching it and describing it, 2 completely different processes, and my brain doesn't work that well with that. But all that being said, I do score the kind of like Pride used to do, the whole fight as a whole. I thought Merab beat his ass, honestly. I thought he dominated. I don't think it was close. A lot of people were like, oh, well, 3-2 Umar. No, it's not close. Like,
his 3 rounds were definitive. No doubt about it. He really, I don't want to say kicked it, but, he really took it to him there in the last 15 minutes of that fight and made it not really close. He was laughing at him on the ground in the 5th round, pulling him down with a single leg drag on his, in the clinch. It was incredible what he was able to do to some of these guys. Like, look what he did to Henry Cejudo, picking him up over his shoulder. Look what he's doing to Merab, snatch grabbing him from one leg like he's his little brother or something. I mean, it's just incredible what Merab's able to do, and the gas tank that he has and the aggression that he can, put forth through 25 minutes is just incredible. And I think it's historic when you look at it in the terms of the sport. But
here's the thing about Umar, though. Like, and I understand this. I understand why people jump on the hype trains and all that. Everybody loaded against Merab. Everybody. Anytime Merab said anything, oh, you're ducking Umar, you're ducking Umar, he handled them. What do you got for him now? What are you guys going to complain about now? What do you have to say now? Because immediately after the fight, Umar's like, oh, I broke my hand. I'm like, shut up. I don't want to hear any of that shit. Merab broke his back, allegedly. And he had that nasty leg injury that he did to himself. And he didn't, not a complaint. Went in there, fought, not only won, dominated. So I'm sick of the Umar stuff. Leave it alone. Move on. The kid's going to be back. He'll be champion. Just not right now. Yeah.
And Merab's as tough as they come. Before the O'Malley fight, there was a viral video of him diving into a lake head first, and the lake was frozen, and he had to get stitches all over his head, and he actually fought like a month later. So Merab would fight if his arm was gone in there. So it's different. I think that some of that comes from a place of, I don't want to say they're trying to make excuses, but I think that Umar was kind of ashamed of himself, and you could see him looking over at Khabib. It was like he was seeking Khabib's approval throughout the fight of what to do. Khabib, is it okay if I do this? Should I do? And I think he was kind of second guessing himself out there, whereas Ray Longo in the opposing corner was just trying to emphasize on Merab, like, you've got this, he's breaking. He was just positive feedback the whole time. Well, I felt Umar might have been a little tight from the coaching that Khabib was giving him.
He was very much tight. And it's not even just the coaching alone. He, just like everyone else was, he was sold this bill of goods that was, you're going to dominate Merab. He can't deal with your striking. You got just as good wrestling, if not better wrestling. He bought all that shit. He bought it all. He ate it up like crazy. And when he got in there with the guy, he realized, oh, no, I don't have what I think I have. Because, look, I get it. If your hand was broken, I understand punching's fucking real hard. Grappling's real hard. Totally understand that. How did you get dominated that badly, right? And then on top of that, I don't know if you saw Submission Radio had Javier Mendez, a.k.a. head coach, or coach at a.k.a. Coaches, Umar and all those guys, along with Khabib.
Said he came out.
He had no idea that he didn't tell him. Umar didn't tell them. Why the fuck would you not tell your coach, like, hey man, my hand's broken that round, let's change something up? Because if there's anybody, Javier has the point. Khabib is so good at game planning on the fly. He did it when he was fighting, right? But he's so good at game planning on the fly. I'm not saying that he would have beat Merab, but I guarantee the fight looks a lot different. And Umar not saying anything. I think, okay, personally, I just think Umar froze. Umar just froze. I think he just looked like a kid that was told, you're awesome, you're this, you're that, you're the best, you're going to win, you're going to be champion for sure, you're walking out with the belt tonight. And when you get a quarter way through that fight, you realize, I'm not winning this right now. This fight is not at all going like all other 18 fights at all. Like, this is really difficult. And I think you're right. He got in his own head. Confidence. You can see the confidence leaving him every second as the fight goes on. By the 4th round, he literally just goes like, fuck. Like, all right, whatever. And he almost had that, like, the only credit I give him is that he didn't quit. That's the only credit I give him, really. So,
yeah, I don't think that he won. And, when Khabib went and asked Daniel Cormier after, Daniel said on the broadcast that he told Khabib that he thought that Merab had won the fight 3-2. So, if somebody who trains at AKA and is in your corner is saying you lost the fight, you probably lost the fight. But even as of yesterday, Usman, who will be fighting this weekend, thought that his brother had won the fight 3-2. So the Nurmagomedov camp, I don't know if they've necessarily settled on that loss yet, and they probably want to get it back at some point against Merab. But Merab is really a stylistic nightmare for a lot of these elite grapplers. Some of the guys like Olympic gold medalists, combat sambo world champions, it doesn't matter when you look at the gas tank and output from Merab. But his coach, I want to talk a little bit about Ray Longo here. Do you think Ray solidifies himself as the greatest coach in mixed martial arts history after the win this weekend?
Ooh. Nah. I don't think
he might.
so.
I think he might. When you look
let's look at his champions.
Yeah, so he's got Sarah Weidman, Aljo, and Merab.
Okay, does anyone have a stable like that?
Javier's got Kane, DC, Khabib,
Islam.
Josh Thompson, and Strikeforce.
Usman Nurmagomedov.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I think it's close, but I think in terms of taking guys that have no business being champions in the eyes of many people and turning them into really not only champions but real good champions, bro. Yeah. There's nobody better than Ray Longo.
Yeah, no disrespect to Javier, but a lot of those guys I think could have been champions regardless of wherever they trained.
Kane coming out of Arizona State, we all knew he was going to be a champ eventually.
Yeah. And I think that Ray is really helping some of these grapplers like Merab, like Matt Serra, like Weidman and Aljo get their hands up to a point to where they can be competent on the feet when they come into UFC competition. So I really like the job Ray Longo does. When I see his corner work over there, I enjoy the positive feedback and them putting the camera on him. It's always entertaining and gets another big win for the Sarah Longo team this weekend. Congrats to Merab. Who would you like to see Merab fight next? I honestly would like to see Umar fight O'Malley. I wouldn't mind the winner of that maybe fighting Merab later in the summer or something. But who would you like to see, Eddie?
Ooh, dude, for Merab. Nah, not Piotr yet. Figgy? No, Figgy just lost.
Figgy just lost.
Fuck, that's a hard one, isn't it? That's a real difficult one, just for the fact that I mean, he's gonna take some time off. I mean, he's just injured and all that, right? Like with the back and all that. So he's gonna be out for a minute. But in terms of who we should put him against, I see. All right, number one is Sean O'Malley, then Piotr Jan. Umar he just beat Umar. Corey Sandhagen, have you fought him? Has he fought him?
Corey just lost to Umar, so that's what I'm saying. Maybe maybe you have Umar and Sean and his rematch with Jan or something. But
mini tournament, let them all figure it out. But keep an eye on Cejudo Yadon. Keep an eye on that fight. I could absolutely see the winner of that one, depending on the kind of fight they put it together. Like, I could see one of those guys jumping in, especially Henry, because Henry can sell a fight like no bit. Like he'll find a way, cringe it or whether you're side or not. Or I don't mind Devin's idea here. Perfect time for Pantoja to challenge for a 35 belt. Not mad at that either. That's a good fight. That's a good fight. Pantoja puts on a good fight against Merab, I think.
Honestly, Pantoja would be 2 inches taller, I think, too. So there wouldn't be that much of a size disparity there at all, I don't think.
It'd be about dealing with the wrestling. It'd be absolutely about dealing with the wrestling. Here's a good question from Johnny. And I know we got our guest coming up here, hopefully in about 8 minutes or so. But name the best wrestler Khabib fought.
Well, Gaethje was an All-American, but he doesn't.
But he didn't use it. He didn't use it.
Poirier's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt.
Iaquinta used it. Iaquinta wrestled a bit.
Gleason Tiabao was a decent wrestler back in the day. That was his hardest fight, if you go back and look at it.
A lot of people think Gleason won that fight.
Yeah. If I had to answer that question, I'd say in the UFC, Gleason Tiabao, or credential-wise, probably Justin Gaethje being an All-American.
Yeah, but in terms of someone that actually wrestled them, nobody.
Yeah.
All right, check it out. Devin says Abel Trujillo.
He took Abel Trujillo down like 28 times. I'm pretty sure he broke the UFC's record for takedowns on Abel Trujillo.
Did Khabib miss weight on that one? Do you remember that? Do you remember?
He definitely set the record versus Abel Trujillo. I remember that.
No, but did he miss weight against Abel?
I do not know if it was that one or a different fight early, but
might have been different. Fucking A. Panic wrestler Connor. Connor turns into a wrestler when you crack him in the chin. Just like Rick's gonna be right here as he's talking all that shit, bro. Come on now. Now, by the way, Rick comes out here on every fucking stream and says the same thing. And I'm just like, I'm gonna turn into a wrestler, big dog. Yeah, Edmund Tarverdian. If you don't know who Edmund Tarverdian is, please Google that. Ronda Rousey, his best coach ever. Head movement was the best corner work of all time. Oh my Jesus, that was sad. Anyway, yeah, dude, look,
Edmund ruined Travis Brown's.
And yeah. So end of the day, I think so. Who doesn't want to call Merab the greatest bantamweight of all time? I don't agree with that. Until Dominic Cruz retires.
Why is Dominic Cruz not fighting Jose Aldo? He just had a fight announcement come up. Who's he fighting? Rob Font or somebody?
Yeah, Rob Font.
Why? Why is he not fighting Jose? That's the fight everybody wants to see. It doesn't make any sense to me. It's got to be Jose Aldo, and we're sitting here. He's fighting, guys that are out of the rankings and people that nobody gives a crap about their matchups.
Yeah, I don't.
Weight,
Yeah, I mean, maybe Aldo's not ready, which is weird because Dominic ain't fighting forever. He just lost to Cheeto Bear not long ago.
Not like Dominic's ready all the time either. I don't know.
Hey, Devin's a good point on this too. Abel's a terrible human being, charged with terrible crimes. Yep. He wants to fight for his retirement, but I also agree he should be Aldo. Yeah. Look, Cruz is going to retire after this fight. I don't see him any reason.
I know. I think and wouldn't it make sense if he retired against Jose Aldo instead of Rob Font? Like, that's kind of anticlimactic in my opinion.
It would, but who knows what the negotiations were behind the scenes. Maybe Aldo doesn't want to fight him. Maybe Aldo's not ready. But whatever it is, and Cruz is ready. I don't know. My favorite thing about Cruz is not this last weekend, but the weekend before, I was at the Apex. And Mackenzie Dern brings her big ass dog. It's a service dog. It's a giant King Corso, big ass dog. She's having with a big ass dog with her. And then I got to the Apex for fight day, and I'm walking out, and Cruz is walking out with his little ass fucking poodle size dog. It made me laugh so hard. I was like, God damn it, Dom, you need something, bro. You can't be walking around with a poodle. But anyway, but yeah, dude, we'll see what happens, man. We'll see. But either way, again, Rob, I don't think he's a GOAT 35er. But man, give him a big ass fight. Dude, this kid deserves it.
Moving on down the card, me and Eddie called it probably the fight of the night. An absolute war between Yuri Prochazka and Jamal Hill. Yuri gets it done with the TKO in the third round, improving his record to 31-5. Jamal Hill drops to 12-3, his second knockout loss in a row. I had this tied at 1 round apiece. I thought Jamal actually came in some of the best shape we've seen him in recent fights. He was fighting very well, especially in the second round. I had Yuri winning the first, Jamal winning the second. Yuri obviously digging deep. He was like psyching himself up throughout the fight. As Jamal landed on him, he was like head nodding forward. It was crazy to see, but he absorbed so much damage to come forward and give his own in this one. What did you make of Yuri in his performance?
I mean, it was a year performance, right? The thing that made me laugh was at the post fight. They told him that the commentary team kept complaining about his hands being too low, and he was just like, "Fuck that! I worked on that." It was funny as hell. But that's how he fights. Dude. These wild spinning techniques, for as long as the fight lasted, and he landed a good shot, and that was that. I think Jamal Hill looked really good. And he was distraught after the fight. I think he knew how hard he worked. So
yeah. All right, fight fans, we're going to break down the rest of UFC 311 and also talk about Nurmagomedov versus Hughes this weekend. But we've got a special guest joining us right now, Decatur, Illinois' own Brynn the White Lion Heathcock. Brynn, thanks for joining us, man.
Hey, I appreciate you, Brett, man. Thanks for having me on, you guys. I really appreciate it. Definitely look forward to it.
Now, you won the Fight of the Year in the Anthony Pettis Fighting Championship. Got that award a few weeks ago. What was getting that award like, and what's that mean to you?
And it's pretty honorable, I guess you could say. It's my only time fighting for the promotion. My debut for him as well. And to go out there and put on a performance like that, it was remarkable. It's what I look to do every time, but just to see it on a broader scale and for a promotion run by somebody with such a highly regarded name means a lot.
Yeah, and some people thought you actually won that fight 2-1. What was going through your mind there when the decision got read? Did you think you had done enough to win that fight?
Yeah, I definitely think I did enough. I should have done more, respectfully, but I knew in the third round I was tired. I'd already taken his best shots in the fight anyway at that point. I had 2 or 3 knockdowns. I can't quite remember. Finished in dominant position to finish the first 2 rounds. and had more, I would think, advantageous positions in the rounds as well. Round 2 was kind of close, but I feel I still definitely did enough. I'd give him the round 3. I'm an honest guy, you know. Action as well. I'm headed back. Currently cutting this fight.
Yeah, so according to Tapology, you haven't fought since then. What have you been improving in the last 8 months, and how's your training camp been going leading up into this one?
Man, the crazy thing that you say that is, which I was going over with my teammate Antonio Jackson, was when I got that award of the fight of the year with Sergio on APFC. I was like, man, that's the last time I fought. I was supposed to fight 2 or 3 times after. All of my opponents backed out the day of or day before, so I should actually have a few more fights under my belt by now. But I've just been trying to increase the cardio more because I feel like that's a big factor, and I feel like that would have won me the fight 100%, convincingly against Sergio in cardio advantage. Working a lot of jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, sorry about that, Brynn. You're kind of breaking up there.
Just the clinch work, keeping my range, finding distance. So.
Yeah, sounds like you've been working on a lot, man. But you've got this fight coming up on the 25th versus Messiah Clark in Madison, Wisconsin for Chosen Few Fighting Championship. How much did you know about your opponent in this one? Oh, shit. Well, I think we were having some technical difficulties there with Brynn. It was like he was coming in and out. But thanks for joining, and maybe we can get him back on here. If
there it is. There it is. Oh, hold on. Let's see, we got him back.
You back, man? We had a little bit of some technical difficulties. Brynn, you there, man?
These are all small town with shitty connection too.
Brynn? Hey, man, you there? Hey, I don't think he's.
All right.
Well, that was an experiment, but yeah, Brynn fights this weekend in Madison, Wisconsin. If you're in the Midwest and want to see some good fights, go ahead and give that show a watch. But thanks for coming on for Brynn, and we're going to get back to the UFC 311 here. We had Yuri Prohaska versus Jamal Hill. Jamal, he fell a little short in this one, but I don't think it's the end for him. A lot of people were giving him crap online, and he was taking this loss pretty bad in the back from the videos that I saw. But he's going to be able to get in there against Carlos Olberg and some of these other guys and work his way back up. But for Yuri, I mean, I know it's his 3rd time fighting Alex, but what necessarily would you like to see him do next?
Look, he called for the Alex fight, and I mean, if I'm him, I go, hey, look, man, I just knocked out Jamal Hill, a former champion. I'm a former champion too. Give me the winner of Magomed and Pereira. Why not? You know what I mean? And he wanted a 3rd fight. I'm down with it. By the way, I'm down for a 3rd fight between Yuri and Alex. The way those fights are crazy. I mean, you saw the stare down between Yuri and Jamal, right? The one between Alex and Yuri reminds me, like, dude, when I first saw in the first fight, right? Like, they were both very. You want to try and bring him back on?
Is he in?
Yeah, let's bring him up.
What's up, man? You there?
Yeah,
Yeah, you're a little patchy. Can you hear us though? Can you hear us, man?
If that, don't worry about it. I'll pop back in as soon as I get connection. But
bet. All right, man. Yeah, just join back in whenever you're free. All right.
There you go. Just text him and let him know. Like, hey, man, just join back in if you can. Otherwise, we'll schedule for some other time.
Yep.
But no, but either way, like we're talking about Yuri. Yeah, Yuri. Yeah, let's do a 3rd fight. Why not, dude? Like, they were looking at each other. Like, when they were in the middle, staring at each other before their first fight. I was like, these guys are not just warriors. These are like generals, right? You can imagine both guys leading giant armies, right? Both guys leading giant armies, and it'd be honestly, it'd be pretty crazy. So
It was like a scene out of Troy when you like take your best fighter and he's fighting the other one, like that movie with Brad Pitt. But Yuri is certainly a spectacle. Him and Alex would be a great fight entertainment value wise, but I just don't think it would be competitive right now. If Magomed Ankalaev went in there and beat Yuri, and beat Alex Pereira, now we're talking about a different deal because we have grappler versus striker, and I think that's a very interesting stylistic matchup between Yuri and Magomed. But I don't really want to see Yuri fight Alex for the third time. If Alex beats Magomed Ankalaev, have him move up to heavyweight and take on the winner of John Jones and Aspinall if that fight ever gets made. And if it doesn't get made, just have him fight Tom. That's kind of what I want to see next with Alex. But great win for Yuri, and he's really stacking up performances this year. I know he had the loss to Prohashka, but the win over Alexander Rakic and the win over Jamal Hill are going to age very nicely, in my opinion, because both of those fighters are going to go on and do better things in the future as well. Yeah, no,
it'll be something like very it'll be something interesting no matter what they do. So it's always good times with those guys.
Yeah. So moving down the card here, we will talk a little bit about Ranier de Ridder and Kevin Holland. Not much really to talk about in this one. Ranier de Ridder gets the submission in round one. I had Holland in this. I was dead wrong. I thought Holland was going to be able to keep his back off the mat. That wasn't the case. Ranier de Ridder runs through him with a first round rear naked choke. On fight night, Ranier de Ridder weighed 27 pounds higher than the middleweight division's 185 pounds. So
here, let's give Brynn one more shots here. All right.
Yeah, it looks like my connection's a little bit better.
There we go.
All right, man. Now
we're good.
Yeah, I was just asking you about this fight coming up in. Wisconsin. Looks like you're going to be fighting Mosiah Clark at the Chosen Few Fighting Championship. How much do you know about your opponent coming into this one?
Not too much. Just say he looks pretty well wrestling based, though I would assume. Not to be stereotypical, but he's a short guy, stout. Most of those guys are wrestlers. From what I've seen, he's got, like I said, he's well-rounded, though. He's got decent stand-up from what I see, but I feel comfortable everywhere. I mean, I know it's going to turn into a wrestling situation and scenarios, keeping my range because I'm going to land and he's going to want to close the distance. He's not going to want to stand up at that point. So
did you get a chance to watch the fights go last weekend, man?
Yeah, definitely. I actually was very surprised and impressed with, not surprised as much as impressed with Marav's performance. Man, that guy's a dog. Islam, I wasn't really surprised. I'm not sure to pronounce his name, but but weird with Islam. And I seen you talking and dabbling with the Ridder a little bit. I was hoping that was going to be a little more competitive because Kevin Holland's always a good showing, but Ridder just, man, he utilized his range and he did what he's supposed to. Got the fight where he wanted. Doing it. So overall, I feel like it was a pretty good card.
Yeah, I thought it was a good card too, especially with the late replacement there with Moicano and Sarukian. Eddie actually has a couple of things he wants to ask you from some of the fights you had a year ago or so.
Actually, real quick, I saw. Were you part of the Mike Jackson Pat Miletich fight? Ooh. I think we had a connection thing again.
Yeah.
Right.
But Brynn was on the card there with Pat Miletich and Mike Jackson. Pat's last fight at 50 years old, he fought Mike Jackson, who got into an altercation with Jake Shields. Brynn was actually 2 fights before that fight. He has a pretty crazy story of how all that went down, and Pat on weigh-in day and stuff. I talked to him a little bit off air about it. But, we'll maybe have Brynn on at another time. He's got some great stories. Hopefully gets a win this weekend in Madison, Wisconsin, if you guys are around that. But with de Ridder and Holland, I think de Ridder, the sky's the limit for him, man. If he can get these fights to the ground, and if you look at the middleweight division, a lot of these guys are strikers, the people that he's going to go up against, in the future as he moves up the weight class. I think he's going to have good, stylistic matchups moving forward. honestly, if he gets Sean Strickland to the ground, I think the same thing probably happens there, So Alex Pereira, I know, is a weight class up, but DeRitter's a guy who was at light heavyweight in one championship too. So we'll have to see what DeRitter does, whether he stays at 185 or not. What do you make of him being 27 pounds bigger than the weight class limit on fight night?
My brain just fucking shut off.
No, you're okay. He was 27 pounds bigger than DeRitter. He showed up at like 200.
Oh, that came out today?
Yeah, he showed up at like 212.
Yo, Kevin Holland, bro. Okay, look, first of all, put some respect on my boy's name. I don't look the entire time leading up to this fight. I was like RDR by submission. Oh, but Kevin can stop takedowns. He can stop submission. RDR by submission. Oh, but Kevin RDR by submission. Oh, well, no one's ever seen RDR fight because you're dumbass don't watch one championship. You're talking about a 2-division world champion. You time it once. 2 divisions at one time. Okay, his jiu-jitsu is high level. Put some respect on my boy's name. Okay, look, I love Kevin Holland like everybody else. All right, but newsflash, I don't know if you guys have heard, but Kevin Holland should not be a motherfucking middleweight when he has to fight a grappler. Okay, if you want Kevin Holland to fight at 185, give him a striker. Someone's not going to shoot on him and try to choke him out. Okay, I know, I get it. He choked out Mikhail Olejniczak, homeboy from Poland. Anyway, he choked him out. Totally get it. That's great. Okay, but stop giving him wrestlers. Stop giving him grapplers. Give him someone's going to stand up with him the entire time if you want a good fight for Kevin Holland. Otherwise, stop booking him at 185 and give him welterweight fights. That's it. Because at welterweight, he can grapple. At welterweight, he can wrestle. At 185, he ain't got enough meat on his bones to do a damn thing. And
yeah, he's a little bit longer than those guys at 170. It's harder for him to get to him. At 185, you get guys that are physically more dense and can take you to the ground and are stronger than you. We've seen it time and time again. Eddie, if he stays at 185, this is what I want to see. And this is an off-the-wall, wild fight. But, Darren Till just recently got a win in boxing by knockout. You think Till can make 185 still? Him versus Holland would be absolute fireworks, in my opinion. The press conferences would be crazy. The fight would be crazy. I want to see Darren Till versus Kevin Holland.
I don't want to see Darren Till, Kevin Holland until they're doing it in Misfits across the pond with my friend Ben Davis to call in the action. Okay,
you think if Dana got on the phone and said, Darren, you get your ass in the gym, make 185. I got you a fight in a 5-round main event.
Two reasons why that won't happen. One, Darren Till ain't making 85. We could throw it out the window. The guy, when it comes to making weight, you give him a weight. Unless it's heavyweight, he ain't making it. That's not disrespect. That is not disrespect. Okay. If you show me your resume, I could tell you where you fuck up. That's how it is. Okay. And two, if I do not want to hear Sweet Caroline anywhere near a goddamn UFC arena fucking ever again. That's the worst song to ever be created. Is Sweet Caroline. Sweet
Not
Caroline
a Neil
was
Diamond fan?
Huh?
Not a Neil Diamond fan?
No, just the song. I like Neil Diamond. That song is ass. Okay, that song is the most overplayed sack of shit that came out of Boston for some reason. Like Boston just owns that song because no one in Boston can sing. Because hey, and get ready to get offended. Your accent is ass. Y'all can't sing for shit. So cut it out. That's why you like that song because it's not. Shut the fuck up. Stop it. I hate that song with every fiber of my being. That's how terrible that fucking song is. That being said, Darren Till's fat ass is not making 85. Please forget it.
Yeah, not anymore. I wish he could though. It'd be an interesting fight, and
bro,
whenever one has to worry about getting taken down.
Bro, yeah, exactly. But whenever, like Darren Till, so hey man, this is the weight. You got 6 months. Yeah, I make it. Yeah. Boom, boom. Something about Liverpool, whatever, or Manchester, wherever the fuck he's from. Yeah, great, cool, awesome. Hey man, you got 3 months to make weight. Yeah, I'm on point. Week up. You're gonna make weight, right? Yeah. Fight night, I'm over by 80. God damn, Darren. Like, what the fuck, bro? What are we doing? Like, here's the thing. Like, in the only reason I get passionate about Darren Till is because I was a Darren Till fan.
Yeah, I was too. That's what I'm saying. I saw
at 70. Yeah, at 70, I was like, dude, who's gonna beat this guy at 70? He's fast, he's strong, he's smart. Okay, he's thick. Okay, and he can strike with some of the best out here. He's gonna be an awesome 70-year. Starts missing weight. Okay, cool. Make him 85. Misses weight. What are we doing? It's up here. It's up here. That's all it is.
I think so too. But honestly, it's the same problem for Kevin Holland. Not necessarily weight, but it's up here with him too. I think that he has more problems mentally than he does physically. Now, when we saw Holland on fight week, he was getting into it with Rampage Jackson and media appearances and stuff like that, like he's trying to fight his host. Like, what did you make of that? Did you think that Kevin wasn't fully focused on this fight coming in, and he was a little sporadic in his personality and in his emotions?
Well, Kevin Holland?
Yeah.
What do you mean,
so he was going after like Rampage Jackson 3 days before his fight.
Oh yeah.
On the media day, I just doesn't look like he's fully focused on what the task at hand is.
Well, it's not, I mean, we're not talking about Kyler Murray here. They should be fucking focusing on being quarterback for goddamn sake, playing Black Ops every other day. We're talking about a guy whose life is like that's who he is. He's always been that way. He's never been serious. I mean, shit. In the middle of his fights, he's talking. He talks so damn much. Dana started calling him Big Mouth, bring him in, right? I think that's just who he is. I don't think it's something we should be concerned about. That being said, he's on a losing streak, all right? He's like a 2-fight.
He's like one. I think he's 1-4 in his last 5.
Terrible. I think that's in his head more than anything. Okay, because I don't know if y'all know, but he's got a sweet contract with the UFC. All right, that's why he takes the fights that he takes, and he's not worried about it. It's a nice little. He gets some good change, so he's worried about that. He ain't worried about.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Is like he wants these paychecks to keep coming, and he knows that he's losing, and I think that it's just kind of like putting a lot of mental pressure on him and making him. Maybe he would have gone and gotten in a spat with Rampage anyway, but. I think it's just kind of making him, lash out a little bit. But
let me ask you something real quick. Do you think Kevin Holland is like in Cowboy Cerrone territory now? In terms of Cowboy who never wanted to win, he literally would say, like, I don't give a shit about no titles, just keep paying me.
Exactly. And you remember when Cowboy said that? He went on a fight win streak that was like 6 or 7 or 8 fights. He started beating really good guys because he took that mental pressure off of himself. I feel like he's like, I'm just going to be here and have fun. Holland doesn't really have a chance to be fun because he's going in here against grapplers like Hamza Chimaev, like Rainier de Ritter, top of the spear guys on the ground. It's just too much of a stylistic disadvantage for him to overcome, I feel like, especially at 185, like you were saying. But moving down the card here, we do have some more fights we want to talk about.
Sorry. I don't mean to cut you off. Who's next for RDR for you? You pick up one name.
Like off the top of my head, I think of Michel Pereira. I want to, he's a striker. He'd do the same thing, probably just take him down.
Gabriel came up with a really good name at his post fight, and he mentioned this. So RDR, give me a top 5, and he named everybody: Sean Strickland, Robert Whitaker, fucking Hamza. He wants Hamza at the Hamza fight big time, apparently. And I'm good with all that. But the one name Gabriel came up with, which was like, this is feasible: Caio Borralho.
That would be a good matchup. Two top level jiu-jitsu guys. That would be good. If he doesn't go with him, what would you think if he got Joe Pyfer or Bo Nickel?
Give him Bo Nickel, please. Joe Pyfer hits like a truck. Actually, you know what? I take it back. I think he can win either fight. But I think if you want to test, Bo Nickel, RDR is a good one for him. Real good one. Because RDR is not going to be worried about. He's not going to be afraid of getting taken down.
No, he's not. Now we might see another Paul Craig versus Bo Nickel situation where kind of an unappealing striking matchup because they kind of nullify each other. But I think that Bo down because Bo got from it.
Bo was so mad. People thought that fight was ass. It was hilarious. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, it was bad. It wasn't the greatest
terrible fight, bro.
It was a step above Maya versus Askren.
God damn! I didn't think of that far, but all right.
Yeah. You remember that?
Dude, I fell asleep. No, I was kidding.
They ended up having decent grappling exchange.
Yeah, but I was sitting there, I was like, this is happening right now. Okay, fuck.
But for 3 rounds, they sat there and just traded punch the most,
Dude, I think that was about as bad as like. You remember how I don't know if you were watching by then, but Dana White was so pissed about Anderson Silva, Damian Maia. Yeah, he was mad, and he was mad at Anderson. I was like, what the fuck, bro? Like. But the other Maya fight was terrible. Anyway, but yeah. So moving down the card, we did have a ranked heavyweight matchup between Jailton Almeida and Sergey Spivak. Eddie, you were all over this one. You were not a believer in Spivak whatsoever. Thought that some of the losses were fluky.
In this one, he did start fast. He did have Almeida on the ground. You'd have to fact check me on this one, but this may have been the first time that Almeida has been taken down in the UFC. Spivak put him on the ground, was landing some good punches, gets reversed on the ground, and eventually gets TKO'd by Almeida in this one. What did you think of Jailton Almeida, and how much does his stock really rise after this one? Does it impress you he got Sergey Spivak out of there in short order?
No, I'm not impressed at all. I expected this. I expected it to be more like I expected it to be sooner than almost at the end of the first round. I think what it was, and it's not that I don't like Sergey Spivak, and it's not because he corrected me 18 times on his name and I got it right every single time and he's still fucking complaining about it. But Sergey doesn't have any one skill that pops out that I'm like, oh, he's gonna have trouble with this, he's gonna have trouble with that. He's solid all around, but he's not awesome at one thing. Right. And so Almeida, meanwhile, is a great grappler, but he's also a really good grappler to get you in positions to TKO your ass. He'll get to the point where like you might be holding your arms like this, trying to prevent arm bars. You'll be doing whatever you can to keep your limbs on your body. And Jailton will be like, okay, hammer in your face, elbow. He likes slicing elbows when he can get them and all that. I think with Sergey, Sergey got ahead of himself in that first round. If you notice, like Sergey takes him down, gets top position, and then got painfully, and I fucking mean this, painfully slowly reversed. And it was one of those like where you can see Sergey's face, like he was like, yeah, I'm doing fucking awesome. Oh, wait a minute. And it's like the slowest no, and he fucking gets reversed, ends up on bottom, and his face just told me I'm fucked. No fucking way you want to be under Jailton Almeida. No, you want to be over on top of him. Definitely don't want to be under him, especially not a heavyweight. So I felt bad for Sergey. It's a learning experience for him as well, but this is what I expected. Sergey Spivak, in my opinion, is not a guy that's going to ever contend for a title. You can say whatever you want. He's not. Not when guys like Almeida are there. Not when guys like Sergey Pavlovich are there. Alexander Volkov are there. All his homeboys, right?
Curtis Blades is
there. Like, there's too many high level. I think if he's able to, if I'm him, I move down to 205. All right, because his tools are going to be a lot easier. Now, the problem is he's a big dude.
Big boy.
It's going to be really difficult for him to get 205. But other than that, I don't see him moving, honestly. I don't, and it sucks.
I think you hit it on the head. He's slotted in right now as an official gatekeeper of the heavyweight division. Back in the day, we'd have guys like Roy Nelson. We'd have guys like Mark Hunt, people like that. They weren't necessarily gatekeepers. They'd finish fights very violently and entertaining, which is different than how Spivak does it. But they were definitely used and tested for the new kids on the block and the up-and-coming prospects. I think that's kind of the slot that Spivak is going to find himself in moving forward. He's going to have to face the new up-and-comers and prove that he can make some type of title contention push again, or he's going to have to keep getting these new fresh faces. But moving down the card, we had the biggest upset of the new year, only one card in, but one of the biggest upsets in bantamweight history. Ronnie Barcelos defeats Peyton Talbot 19-5. Barcelos improves his record. Peyton Talbot 9-1. Barcelos came into this one as a 16-1 underdog over the surging prospect, the 9-0 Peyton Talbot. Eddie, another American prospect. We saw it last week with Austin Bashi. We saw it last year with Raul Rosas. Another American prospect that goes by the wayside early in Peyton Talbot. The hype was too much too soon. Ronnie Barcelos pulls off maybe the biggest win of his career as a massive betting underdog. How surprised were you with this one?
Not even a little bit. Not even a little bit. Dude, Barcelos won me $50.
Really?
I knew. Here's the thing. What people don't understand, and again, and I'm a father. I have 4 kids, right? And then three of them are older, and they're all, they're old enough to ask questions about life and everything. They're all starting their own. And what I always tell them, it's like, look, it's not that you're dumber than me. I have way more experience than you. I've seen some shit. That's why I handle this pretty easily, and you panic because I've seen this before. Barcelos has seen everything. Okay, he's been around enough, and I know he looks older than he really is. I'm pretty sure, but either way, he's got way more experience. And Peyton Talbot goes in there like, oh shit, this guy's not like he's not at all jaded. He's not jaded at all. If anything, he's very much like. I don't know how to explain it. I think Peyton Talbot knew he was going to lose. I think he came in the fight knowing, like, I'm probably fucked here.
Yeah, his emotions throughout the fight. Why was he content on the ground? Why did it look like it did not faze him that he was about to lose his undefeated record?
Mhm.
He looked like he was going to go pick up a loaf of bread from the deli or something. The same face that he would have through normal interaction day to day. He's sitting there just content laying on the ground. I don't understand it. I couldn't believe it. I understand you have to be calm in there. And a lot of strikers talking about, being in the zone and being calm and all this stuff so they can counter strike. Not when you're on your ass on the ground and have to scramble to get back up. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. What did you think of the sense of urgency from Talbot and kind of what you hinted at earlier, his emotion, like non-emotion in the fight?
I don't think he knew what the fuck to do. I think he just had a real hard time. Even though he was being coached, he was being told what to do, what to try. He just wasn't doing it. Like when little things here's the thing. When you go into an event, like and Barcelos in the post fight said, hey, we've all been undefeated. We've all been undefeated. So I was a young guy being undefeated too, and I got surprised as well. I mean, shoot, you could be the shit all you want to, and then you run into a badder motherfucker. That's what happens, right? And so Peyton Talbot ran into not just a bad dude, a grown ass man. Let's not forget, Peyton Talbot in MMA years is a baby.
Yep.
Right, and is a baby genuinely, right? He's not worried about, he's not paying the mortgage. He doesn't have kids, nothing like that. He's very much just like, I'm just doing my thing, enjoying my life, doing, whatever, fighting. And Barcelos has skin in the game. He has life. He has things going on and all that.
He faced Umar. He's fought top contenders.
So if you look at the guys that Peyton Talbot has fought, you look at the guys behind him, like Barcelos has fought, even if he lost to him, as soon as I saw Barcelos' resume, I'm like, oh, this is over. There's no way. Peyton Talbot. And I honestly thought Barcelos was going to finish him. I honestly thought he was going to finish him at some point. And before the fight even happened. Okay. And so I'm happy for Peyton Talbot. Very happy for Peyton. This is going to be massive for him if he handles it the right way. This is where we're going to find out who Peyton Talbot is. Okay. Just like the Kyler Murray example I just shared, I shared it 2 seconds ago. And I know before the show we were talking about that. When Kyler throws an interception, and he's 27, by the way. He's a grown ass man. He fucking just mopes his way all the way over to the bench and complains about it. Will Peyton Talbot come back? Be like, I'm gonna show you motherfuckers who I am. Even if he has the same temperament, that's fine. Or the same mentality, the same emotions, calm, cool, and everything. That's great. Keep that. In the fight, we're gonna find out. Did you even give a shit? Right? If he comes out and fights the exact same way, bro, forget it. He's gonna be another story of what could have been. If he comes out like, all right, motherfucker, I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna remind you who I am. Yeah. Big difference. Big difference.
Yeah, experience. And while Barcelos didn't get the finish, he did get two 30-26s on the judges' scorecards, definitively getting the win in this one. The stats weren't even really close. Is there anything else on this UFC 311 card that really stuck out to you? Eileen Perez and Carol
right here. This right here, sir. I am not one that likes to peddle drama. That being said, sir, all right, hilarious. If you don't know the story, so
what happened there?
All right, so here's what happened, and this is from Gabriel Gonzalez. Give me a heads up. Apparently they heard it. I saw the media room. So Perez and Cortez, Tracy and Eileen, they have their online feud going back and forth from when Tracy had to cut her hair to make weight. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Aileen gave her shit about that online. Right? And then I forgot what happened with Aileen, and Cortez fired her right back. I mean, it was a straight up karma deal at that point, but I think Perez lost. But it was fucking hilarious how they went back and forth. Now, here's the thing. What you don't know, Aileen Perez is from Argentina. Great. Tracy Cortez grew up in Maryvale, Phoenix, Arizona. If you guys don't know about Maryvale in Phoenix, Arizona, Maryvale is about as hood as you can get in Phoenix, Arizona. It's a place where I don't go. Okay. And I used to live literally right down the street from Maryvale. And we knew not to take our bikes out there because fuck that. Okay. That place is not for the faint of heart. That place grew Tracy Cortez, John Moraga, all kinds of bad motherfuckers that came out of Maryvale. Right. A lot of people you never heard of because they got the life. They could have been something great, boxing wise, at least, and some MMA guys and girls. And just the life got a hold of them. Right. Tracy Cortez is not a girl. She's not going to be a pushover. She's not a girl you can punk. She don't give a fuck, right? And she's Mexican on top of it, all right? Latinas, and I know Aileen is Latina as well. But these, when Latina girls get into it, bro, someone might die. Someone might actually die. So apparently, Cortez followed Aileen and her team all the way to the media room, right? and try to start some shit with her. And I don't know if you saw the video, it came out, I think yesterday or today, Tracy Cortez, and back in her hotel room, I think in LA or wherever it is, and she just literally is like losing her shit on the video. I think she deleted it or something, but they didn't stop the internet. They grabbed it, right? Or we grabbed it. So that's what's going on right now. There's like a beef about this. Mind you, they're two different weight classes. Like Tracy could fight 35 and make that weight easy, no problem, right? So that might be a fight we see at some point. But it's just hilarious. And by the way, Tracy, in that video I told you about that just came out yesterday or today, she said that Aileen tried to shake her hand, right? She tried to shake my hand like, bitch, the fuck, I thought you were a bad bitch, the boss bitch, all this stuff. And I'm like, damn, Tracy mad. All right, let's go, right? I'm down with this. Let's go. I immediately was like, who do I got to hit up to talk to Tracy? Because this is hilarious. Let's fucking see what's up, right? So, yeah, dude, it's just, the drama's hilarious. That being said,
good thing we're following the right sport. There's a conflict resolution really easily. It's called fighting. So, yeah.
Hey, people, look, man, I know I grew up growing up. Everyone's parents told them violence is not the answer. My dad didn't tell me that. My dad said sometimes violence is the motherfucking answer. Yeah. In this one, it absolutely is. God damn, you don't tell me. You tell me people won't watch this fight with the way they're going to build it up? Now, I'm not saying put it in a main event on pay-per-view. Definitely
co-main on an Apex card.
Co-main on an Apex card. Co-main at Fight Night somewhere where maybe in Phoenix, if they have it here. Bro, would be nice. But either way, man, that was fun. But on top of that, as far as Aileen Perez, I was very impressed with her fight against Hossa. I thought Hossa was going to punch her face off. And Aileen was able to use her distance, right? Make it her type of fight and win. So that was impressive for sure.
Yeah, another big underdog. Also, Rinya Nakamura lost his undefeated record. Underdogs were hitting on the prelims. I'll tell you what. If you put some parlay with these people, you probably made a lot of money. But Gafrov defeats Rinya Nakamura kind of in impressive fashion. Nakamura could never really get this fight to the ground. And Gafrov used his experience and technical prowess on the feet to get a decision win here.
Nakamura looked confused. And we've never seen him look confused in there. He looked confused. He didn't know what to do with Gafrov. So back to the drawing board for him, and we'll see what happens to Gafrov. But I think Nakamura, give him some time to rest and improve, and then put him up against someone that similar to Gafrov, I think, and see what he can do.
Yeah, I think so too. That's what we've got for UFC 311. It was a great card. Before we go, Eddie, what was your card rating? We've kind of done this in the past with some pay-per-views. Out of 10, what would you give this one this weekend? Taking into account the late replacement with Moicano, I'll give this one a 7.5. I thought that the Yuri and Jamal fight really made it for me. I liked DeRitter's performance as well. The Umar and Merab fight was fantastic, but Islam ran through Moicano with relative ease. And then I didn't make much of the Almeida versus Spivak fight as well. But I give it a 7.5 to an 8. What about you?
7.5. Let's go 7.5. Strong 7.5. 4 finishes on the main card. Only 2 on the prelim. So that's usually flipped, right? Everyone on the prelim wants to bump up to the main card at some point. So we usually see the different. We usually see the prelims are fucking dope, finishes everywhere. Not the case this time. Seems like a lot of people were kind of afraid to lose, and there were some good matchups honestly in it. So I'm gonna give it a 7.5, easily.
Yeah, I think so too. We also have a very interesting fight to talk about that happens this weekend in the Middle East with the PFL. We don't normally say we have an interesting fight to talk about with the PFL, but we really do in this one. Defending his championship, Usman Nurmagomedov, Bellator lightweight champion, defends his title against Irish surging prospect Paul Hughes. There's bad blood in this one. I don't know if you guys saw some of the press content that the PFL is putting out. They're actually building this fight really great. I love what the PFL team's doing on their social medias with this one. These guys, now, why it's not that much, they just put them in the same vicinity together, and they started kind of jawing at one another. Usman told him, "Who are you?" And basically Paul Hughes is telling him he's going to find out this weekend, but and that he's overlooking him. But a lot of layered additional layers to this one after the loss to Umar Nurmagomedov last weekend. Usman trying to stay undefeated himself in this fight. Is this the biggest challenge to Umar in his career yet?
In his head. I'll tell you why. Okay. First of all, good on you, Don Davis, for letting your team do their fucking jobs. All right. God damn. Now put Dakota the Chip on every poster and send it to ESPN, and you got some fire there, Don. Free tip, bro. But in terms of this fight, have you ever seen Usman talk back to anybody?
No.
Fucking ever. You and I were there in San Diego for 300. Not a word. Not a peep.
I tried to have something happen between him and Shabley at the fight in San Diego. I asked Shabley if he's going to knock him out if the fight stays standing, and Usman didn't even say anything about that. He's always pretty even-keeled, but
we've never seen Usman speak back to anybody that talks shit to him, and now you got an Irish dude that likes to talk some shit. Not as much as like Connor, not as much as even as Ian Gary. Out of those three, he's the one that talks the least shit.
Quiet confidence is what comes to mind with Paul Hughes.
And I wonder if that's creeping into Usman's head now, right? We've seen other guys get forced into talking. Off the top of my head, I can't remember guys that Connor made talk, right? Eddie Alvarez talked way more than he normally did because Connor was pushing him, right? Other shit talkers, Kobe Cummins has done it to other people too. But the way Paul Hughes is doing it, it's a little like I'm sneaking into the back of your head, bro. I'm gonna be saying some shit. Ooh, your boy just lost. Like if I'm Paul Hughes, I start saying that shit too. Right? I'm just like, hey man, one more loss. Your little brother lost. I get in the face with your little brother lost. This is how I know I got under your skin if I'm Paul Hughes. All right. Because I only saw it today. You tell me when you saw it. But they had they're doing the photo shoot outside in the street. And they're standing next to each other. Yeah. And Usman goes, we could do this right now.
Mm-hmm.
We could do this right now.
When is he the one who initiates it?
Never. Habib's never said that in his life.
No.
Habib waited until the fight, then after the fight, now we can do this right now. But
I like it though. He's like the evil, type of, he's like the evil one over here that's like all about it and stuff, but like Anakin in Star Wars kind of. But
right. No, exactly though. Exactly. So this is the one thing, that's the thing that makes me think, I think Paul might have something here. I think we're gonna be cooking with something here with Paul. Right? Now we know how Usman fights. He's going to try and do the same thing he usually does. Paul Hughes is an entertaining guy. Like, I wonder if he's going to try, how he's going to come out fighting this one. I'm excited. I haven't said about a PFL fight forever.
Try and blast a hole in him, honestly. If you saw what he did with McKee, he basically tried to force McKee to shoot takedowns by putting pressure on him and backing him up to the fence. We haven't seen anyone really be able to back Usman up to the fence because he circles so quickly. His footwork is so tremendous.
Yeah.
We just haven't seen that yet, but maybe Paul Hughes can put him on the back foot and shock the MMA world this weekend. But
I think he has a real good shot. I think he's a real good shot at winning this fight, and it won't be a finish, mind you, it won't. But unless he catches him with something. But I think it'll be a decision. I think it'll be, if they allow it to be, it'll be a fun fight. We'll see that what happens. But honestly, like a very I wish, dude, and I know we're gonna get off, we're getting off topic a little bit here, but I wish the PFL would stop doing these. I know why they're doing the cards in Riyadh, right? That's who's paying right now, right? But man, this fight would be dope here. Like this fight would be great with PFL fans here.
I'd take it in Chicago,
right? And, I mean, seriously, like Paul Hughes is a big. How many Irish are flying to fucking Riyadh for this fight?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, I mean, you could even do this fight in Europe and pack the place up. Right, you're not going to do it in Riyadh. So
here's my thing with the PFL, and we always talk about it, so I don't want to get on them too hard.
Yeah.
I hope I can keep getting credentials there in the future, but it's here's
blame
the thing.
Me, folks. Brett didn't do shit. It was me.
Yeah, here's the thing though. When you put this fight in the Middle East, I don't know how many people care about it in the Middle East either. Right. So you've got top level talent fighting in front of no one, and that's my problem with the PFL from when I've started covering it. When I was there in Chicago, you have top-level talent. On that card, you had Gadzi Rabadanov, you had Timur Khizriev, you had Magomed Umlatov, you had Shamil Musayev, 4 guys who ended up in your world championship at the end of the year. 3,000 to 4,000 people saw them. Why is putting paying customers in front of your product not your number one priority? I don't understand. That would be the number one question that I would have for Don Davis or Murray if I had him alone, not on camera or some type of off script. That's what I would ask him. But at the same time, this fight has everything you want it to be a big fight. It has legacy. It has a title on the line. It has a rivalry between countries. 2 guys less than 30 with mileage on the clock and tremendous potential for future success. And the stylistic matchup. You've got the historic grappler versus the tough, confident kid with the big right hand who's going to walk forward on you. It's a very interesting matchup. They've got it all. I want to break down a little bit about the Nurmagomedov family with you real quick, though, Eddie, because there was a loss last weekend Do you think there's going to be any hangover effect on Usman? He wasn't in the corner for Umar because obviously he's in the Middle East, probably had to watch that fight on television and not, be around his brother for the first time, probably on fight week. So how much of that do you think is an effect on Usman?
I don't think it will. Honestly, I don't think it will. I think even Islam in the poster, they asked him like, "Hey, what do you think about Umar losing?" And he's like, "Umar will be fine. He has coaches." He didn't say, "I got him. I'm gonna talk to him." He goes, "He has coaches." They're very individualistic when it comes to this thing, and I believe Usman's gonna do the same thing. I know it's his little brother. I don't know if he's a little older, but whatever. It's his little brother, I think, and certainly physically. But yeah, like. No, I think I don't think that'll affect them. I think it will put some pressure on him for sure in terms of Team Nurmagomedov, right? They were what, 1-2? No, 2-1 last weekend, right? You don't want to go 2-2.
And that brings me to my next point here. We talked about it on a couple shows past. The Nurmagomedov family, is it the greatest family in the history of the sport, history of MMA? We talked about the Gracies. How would they match up? Renzo versus Umar, Royce versus Usman, Khabib, and Crone's father. What's Crone's father's name again? Hickson Gracie. Both of them were undefeated and stopped early. Royce and so it looks how it would match up. But at the same time, if you have Usman lose this weekend, now you've got no undefeated Nurmagomedovs other than Khabib, just like you have no undefeated Gracies other than Hickson. It becomes a more interesting conversation. And with these losses, they, make that gap a little bit closer to where it was at one time. What do you make of the historical value for Usman this weekend? And do you think there's any pressure to him living up to the family name after the loss?
Well, like we were saying earlier, like there's different kinds of families. This is one of those families that's super strict, right? They broke the PS5 or whatever, the video game and all that. I think the pressure comes from that, not wanting to disappoint Khabib, not wanting to disappoint the team, and certainly his family and all that. In terms of like being like, I think they still have a shot at it. I think Umar saying it in the media day was a bad look. Because he's like, "Oh, we want to be the MMA family, like kind of like the Gracies." I'm just like, stop trying to be the Gracies. You got to be somebody else, man. You got to be yourself, right? And so, I think that is a bad look, and that was one of you know how people are, man. They troll them now because of that. Oh, you guys are like the fucking Gracies. Oh yeah, no.
It's a legitimate convo, man. Sure. If you think about it, like there have only been two fighting families. The sport is young; it's only 30 years old. There's really only two that the Shamrocks. The Shamrocks were in it, but there was only really two of them. But for the three, if they can continue doing on what they were doing, they were easily going to be the greatest family in the history of our sport.
I'll tell you this: if Umar wins the title, we can make that. That conversation is going to pick up some heat when he wins that title. He will eventually, but when he wins that title, I think that you'll get some actual heat on that one. I know Islam's kind of like an unofficial member of the family.
Yeah, that's
you know what I mean. So you could put him in. You couldn't. It just depends. They do consider him, right? If he moves up to 70 and takes the title there, shit. Enjoy debating that.
If he moves up to 70, I think and Usman wins this weekend, I think we're looking at the next 155-pound champion in the UFC as well. So there's a lot on the line this weekend with Paul Hughes and Usman Nurmagomedov. When we look at this fight, Eddie, we'll do a little prediction here. What do you think? I think that this is going to be Usman decision. I think he's got the weapons to stay safe on the feet, and he's going to mix in the takedowns. I think this could be competitive at times. And if Paul Hughes hurts him, he can get him out of there. Who do you have this weekend? I'm going to take Usman by a close decision, 3-2.
As much as I said that Paul Hughes is a shot, because he does, Usman by decision as well. But I think Paul Hughes knows he needs to make this a short fight. I think he knows he doesn't want to give Usman, 5 rounds or whatever, whatever it may be, to get his rhythm going. Because once Usman gets in a rhythm, you're screwed, right? You're screwed. It's over. Right, Paul Hughes to get in there and disrupt that, be a massive disruptor, and honestly, he's probably gonna have to find a finish in this one. I don't know if he will, but probably have to find a finish in this one. All that being said, I'm expecting an exciting fight. Probably the only exciting fight on the whole card, to be honest with you. Because Vadim doesn't want to fight someone that can, he doesn't want to fight Corey. He wants to fight Tim fucking Johnson. I love Tim, by the way. Tim's a shit. I've spoken to Tim before.
Tim, former truck driver.
Tim is so much fun to talk to off camera. On camera, he'll give you some good quotes over that. Off camera, when you talk about anything but MMA, he's fucking awesome, right?
He seems like the guy you'd want to have a beer with.
100% the guy you want to have a beer with, dude. He's hilarious, right? And he's just like a chill. You're just sitting there. You don't even talk about. If you didn't even know who he was, you could have a fun conversation with him. But anyway, for Vadim to not want to fight Corey Anderson bugs me a lot. Like bugs me, right? To the point where I'm like, all right, Tim, do something crazy, please, and give me your weird ass laugh afterwards too. Was that Tim? No, it wasn't Tim. That was my bad. Hey, I think I'll look alike. Anyway, no, I'm just kidding. But
he and Ben do kind of look like, but
but I don't know why I thought it was Tim. It was definitely Ben Rothwell. But anyway, that bothers me a lot.
Mania this weekend as well.
Who
is speaking of BKFC? Is Knuckle Mania this weekend as well?
January 25th, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, so Jeremy Stevens and Eddie Alvarez.
I guess I know what I'm watching. It ain't gonna be.
Well, this will probably take place during the day, and that'll probably take place at night. This will probably be an afternoon show due to it being in the Middle East. But
let's see. Yeah, definitely. Dude, this card is. I love Ben fucking
Rothwell. Got Rothwell on there. There's your laugh.
All right, hey Ben, damn it! You know what you have to do.
You might get the laugh this weekend.
Okay. All right. Well, real quick, do you have time?
Yeah, let's go.
Talk about this one. Obviously, Knucklemania. Eddie Alvarez, Jeremy Stevens. This fight's gonna be fun, but if Jeremy Stevens doesn't savagely knock him the fuck out, I'd be a little disappointed because Jeremy Stevens is like he's just TNT on feet, right?
Yeah.
So that's a great fight. And I like this Terrell Rothwell fight. I don't know about this one. I really don't care for it. I think last time I saw both. Yeah, but last time we saw both these ladies, I want to say they were getting their ass whooped pretty bad.
I do want to talk about Mick Terrell a little bit. He did get a big win over Lorenzo Hunt at the last card when Mike Perry fought, improving his record to 9-1. He's taking on Ben Rothwell. I'm a real big fan of Ben Rothwell. He's from the Chicago area, Kenosha, Wisconsin, down in the southern part of Wisconsin near Chicago. Great guy, owns a gym down there. Real good community member, good human being. He's going to be fighting for the World Heavyweight Championship in BKFC this weekend, coming over as a UFC veteran. Has looked good in his fights with the promotion. I think he had a victory in like 30 seconds the last time he was out there. He was complaining about not fighting enough. He wanted to get hit. But he might get hit this weekend. Him and Mick Terrell, two big guys throwing fists with no gloves. It's going to be entertaining if nothing else.
Now, I'll tell you what right now, folks. If you have not caught BKFC before, tune in this Saturday, please. This is this is the one you want to tune into. Look, bare knuckle is to me like it's just on a come up like crazy. And to me, it has literally zero. It has negative to do with Conor. You can forget about Conor McGregor.
I love Dave Feldman. I love
Feldman. Feldman is on his shit, and he's getting the right guys in this fucking promotion.
Outside Dana, I would say Feldman might be the best promoter in combat sports, period.
Damn better than fucking Don Davis. But like, I want to see, I'll give a shout out to the Octagon MMA guys. If you guys haven't caught Octagon MMA, I know it's in German and every language but English. Please catch Octagon MMA. That's a fun ass promotion. But anyway, in terms of BKFC and Dave Feldman, like he's just doing it right. He's making smart moves. He's not like Don overselling or stretching yourself too thin. Right, but he's also not keeping the same old shit going like Dana does all the time. They're gonna just keep the same thing going.
What Dave has been able to do is incredible. He's literally, I call him this, Mr. Chicken Salad is his new nickname. He takes chicken shit and turns it into chicken salad. He takes guys who are out of the promotions, who have been washed out of the UFC, who no one cares about, and he puts something together and makes it to where you give a crap. And it's beautiful what he's been able to do with some of these guys. He's resurrected the career of Mike Perry. Eddie Alvarez and Jeremy Stevens are getting huge paychecks this weekend to sit here and compete again. And we're all talking about it and going to probably watch it again this weekend. I don't think anybody could have done what Dave has done with less. With what he's had to work with, he's done better than anybody could do, in my opinion. Dude,
everyone complains about women's MMA. Everybody complains about women's MMA outside of Nunes back in the day, Rousey, Cyborg until lately, stuff like that. They all complain, oh, it's this and that, it's boring, it's the WNBA, blah, 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 blah. Bare knuckle, BKFC is a different sport. It's not the same thing, right? All right, and the ladies freaking bring it. Holy shit. Like, you got, like, cheeks torn up. Who was it? Was it Bret Hart? got like just you couldn't even recognize her. Starling, and her last fight comes out, she's literally like bleeding out of everything, and she's like, I had a great time in there, and I'm like, these motherfuckers is crazy.
Yeah,
I don't want to watch this again.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
And just talking about my comments, I meant we're saying that the fighters were chicken.
Yeah.
I was saying that he makes something out of nothing, for lack of a better term.
You're looking
make something out of nothing.
Look at the guys he has right here. Former UFC, another former UFC. Sterling was never, but I know Rawlings was UFC for a minute.
He's building Terrell.
Exactly. But all these names, all these fighters that have been seen in bigger promotions and all that, he's not bringing them in saying like, hey, the UFC so-and-so, so you should definitely watch this fight, right? Because it's a different sport. He's saying, look, they still got something left in the tank. Let them show you what they have. And then he gives them the platform to do it. And it's a lot of fun. And I haven't been to a live one yet, but I've heard nothing but good things about it. Literally nothing but good things.
I'd love to cover it, but maybe I will cover it one day. But
sure.
They make the matchups. The matchups are really what thrives over here. They give the fans what they want to see. And again, they're talking about bringing back Mike Perry to fight Robbie Lawler. So that's something that could be interesting as well.
Hey, look, Feldman, love what you do. Leave Robbie alone, please. He's a natural treasure, okay? Because you might fuck around and you might kill whoever fights Robbie Lawler, okay? Because Robbie Lawler.
Would you watch him and Mike?
100%. I just don't want to see. I just want to see Robbie Lawler get his face split open again. Just leave that man alone, all right? He made it. Fuck it. Then make the fight. I'm definitely watching.
Yeah.
The other one. He had me excited for Baby Slice. Kevin Ferguson
Jr. versus Bryce Hall. Again, another good matchup.
Mind you, I don't know. I have no fucking clue who Bryce Hall is.
He's an influencer. He's an influencer. So Baby Slice was coming back versus this guy who's got 10 million YouTube subs and knocked a guy out in 6 seconds. He actually did knock a 5-0 BKFC fighter out in like 10 seconds. He's like an athlete guy. He's kind of
athletic.
Like a 2-sport, 3-sport high school athlete type dude. Wasn't good enough to go to college. Influencer, good looking guy type deal. But
but either way, I know that fight is off, and I wish we knew why, because I want to know why.
Somebody said they knew. Chris Santiago reported it. I saw it on Instagram. He said that Baby Slice is training to become a police officer, so he didn't have the time to put in work to get ready for it.
Good on you. Didn't see that coming at all, but good on you, bro. All right. Anyway, either way, this card's going to be fucking fun. And you don't have to think about it. You don't have to be like the champion this, champion that. This is just sit down. Put it on. Don't worry about who's who. There's a bunch of names you won't recognize on here, but just watch it. It's going to be fun.
Yeah. So that's what we've got this weekend. We got BKFC, Knucklemania taking off Saturday night. And then we also have the PFL title fight between Usman Nurmagomedov and Paul Hughes in Saudi Arabia this weekend in the afternoon. So tune in, fight fans. Next week, we'll break down both of these events and also look ahead at the UFC Fight Night the coming following week. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.